All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Rob Schou. I'm here with Living in Southern Maryland, and today I got the Salt Waterfront Kitchen on the podcast. I got Sean and Brian. Sean's the owner, and Brian is the cook or the chef of Salt Waterfront Kitchen. Guys, thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you for having us.
So why don't you give us an overview? I'm not sure if everyone knows about the Salt Waterfront Kitchen. Why don't you tell us where you are and kind of like who you are too, and really what sets you apart?
Well, we're down in Southern Maryland at the very end, in Ridge, Maryland. And so I came from Santa Barbara, California, and purchased a property in 2021. We bought the whole marina and the restaurant, but the restaurant stayed closed until we remodeled it. We just opened it up this past summer, and we were surprisingly pleased at the crowd and how everybody accepted us here. So we're going to try to do elevated casual dining here. The property itself is beautiful. It's 30 acres commercial. We have 160 boat slips. We have a service department, and the actual restaurant sits perfectly where you have water on every window and every view here.
So it's not just a restaurant. You guys are Marina down there too. I know it. I've always known it's Point Lookout Marina. Are you changing that name at all, or is it still Point Lookout Marina?
It's still Point Lookout Marina, and the locals laugh because it's not Point Lookout. So, but it does give a reference to where it is, and I figured it's been here for so long, the history here. I just left it alone.
Yeah. So you guys are Point Lookout Marina. The restaurant is right there in the marina. And it's not only that you're revitalizing the restaurant, the marina itself, I've heard, is going through a lot of changes too, good changes. And it's more going to be a destination where you're going to want to go. And I think I remember reading that you have overnight slips even too, where someone could stay the night and kind of stuff like that on their liveaboard, and enjoy the restaurant too. So it sounds like that is going to be pretty neat. Maybe this next question is for Brian, but what is elevated casual? I think that's a question that when you said elevated casual, what does that mean to you guys?
It means that we want to do something that you may not be able to find at other restaurants. We don't want to be fine dining. We don't want white tablecloth. We don't feel like want you to feel like you have to dress up to come here and enjoy yourself. But we want to offer something more than, like I said, than you might be able to find at other restaurants in the area.
So, like beyond the fried shrimp basket and fried oyster basket, you're doing something to the next level of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, we want to take it a little bit beyond that. We don't want to be a local pub. We don't want to be. We already have great seafood, like mom and pop seafood shops in Southern Maryland and St. Mary's County. So we want to be a little bit more than that. But again, not quite fine dining, kind of in that sweet spot that we don't have a ton of restaurants like down here. So,
because a lot of times when you're out on the boat, if you're out there on the lower Potomac or on Smith Creek or wherever you're boating around, you're not wearing your best and your finest clothes to come in, and it can be a barrier of entry into a restaurant if you feel like, man, I'm in my bathing suit and
that's it. Right. That's right. That's
exactly right. I can't go in there where they got white tablecloths and
that's right. That's right.
$80 meals or something. So I get it. So like it's taking what the normal seafood restaurant would have down here and elevating a little bit. One thing that I noticed is your menu is seasonal. Can you kind of explain why that happens? Like, what are you guys doing with your menu, changing it every season? Is it just based on what's available, or is there kind of like, the chef's wishes you're changing it? Like, what does that look like?
We try to use, kind of what's seasonal at the time, whether that's, oysters, which we're featuring right now, rockfish we just started getting in right now from our local watermen, but also trying to use vegetables and things at their peak, and that way we can give, if the vegetables and the food that we're bringing in are at their peak, then our menu will be at its peak. So, yeah. And the other nice part about it is it forces us to change. It doesn't let us be too consistent and become stagnant. So it forces us kind of out of that comfort zone and making us constantly try something new and do something different. And the nice part for the guests too is that now that means that there's going to always be something new to try. So there'll always be new things coming on. If you're an asparagus lover, come the spring and early summer, we'll have that for you. We're just going to constantly change things as they come in.
So I'm putting you both on the spot right now. We'll go with the fall menu. We won't do the winter menu. What was your favorite meal on the past menu you guys have, and what are you looking forward to right now? Like, what's the one meal you're kind of looking forward to having on this new menu that you have coming up for the winter?
I think the different ways of cooking rockfish is my
Yeah.
favorite so far. Yeah, and we've tried a lot of different ways, and he just keeps making it happen, and it's really, really good.
Yes, I agree. There's so many different ways than traditional fried, baked, or broiled that I think a lot of people are used to.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, exactly, exactly.
And we love dealing with the local watermen. They rent slips here, so we see
Yep.
them every single morning,
Yeah.
and they unload every day. And like you can't get any fish fresher. than
No.
that. So that's
Yeah,
the
you
best.
can't. You can't at all. And like I'm sure in the summertime when you get bluefish and cobia and and speckled trout and things like that in there, you can really have a diverse menu of fish too.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah, and that's what we really want to do.
So what about you, Brian? What's your favorite right now?
I think my favorite right now is we have a butternut squash soup on the menu, and we have an arugula and butternut squash salad, and just the two go together really, really well. But as far as looking forward, we're bringing in more oysters locally. We're trying to do more, trying to prepare them in different ways. So right now we have your classic on the half shell and steamed, but we also just put on a butter and lemon or butter and garlic roasted oyster. We look to do more of those, different combinations of having, hot, fresh oysters.
Yep.
The local waterman literally drops them off on the dock right behind us, and we walk out and pick them up in the morning. So, like I say, they are no fresher. You can't get any fresher than that. I mean,
You can't. You literally can't beat that. I mean, that's like from the water to your table within what 100 yards of the
yeah,
restaurant.
I mean,
It's another interesting thing about the marina. The actual when you sit and you have your dining experience, you actually see the watermen working all around you. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
and that's one of the neatest things is that you can be down there in Ridge. I know that like there's other watermen like Tommy Courtney and people like that down there
Oh yeah,
that are crabbing, fishing, oystering all right around you guys. So
that's
you're
right.
really in tune with everything that's down there. Oysters are always an interesting thing to me. I love oysters. I buy a lot of farm raised and wild caught oysters for myself too. And I think that barrier to entry again is something that people get a little bit of squeamish about because they think it's only raw oysters that you're supposed to be eating, and they get that connotation of oysters are gross. But like the char grilled oysters or other options like that, sounds like it could bring more and more people down there to try them out. Have you ever thought about just doing like don't they do like chef's tastings where you could do like an oyster tasting kind of thing, just like an oyster tasting night?
I mean, that would be kind of neat. That'd be kind of a neat idea. That would be kind of neat, actually, maybe to do like an oyster flight, kind of like if you go to a brewery or a winery, you get a little sample of everything. Send you one of each and let you kind of run the gamut.
Yeah, that would be really neat because they taste so much different. Oysters from here, even oysters from different parts of the bay, like up towards the Chester River, there's Orchard Point oysters, which is a farm raised oyster, and they taste totally different than the ones that come off of Jones Wharf Bar out there in front of you guys. Like it's a
Yeah.
totally different oyster. So what are some big things we should be looking forward to from you guys over the next few months? Like, what do you want the people out there to know? That's going to be happening at Salt Waterfront Kitchen here soon.
Well, we're gearing up for summertime. Summertime was unexpectedly busy, so handling the crowds is where we're actually remodeling the outside area. We have a drink rail right on the water, and a good thing that surprised me, and I think a lot of people, it was a positive, is that you can bring your families in, and we could seat like 20, 30 people at one time without a reservation. So outside was key, and that's what we're working on now.
Gotcha. So more outside seating is always, especially at a waterfront place like that, more outside seating, the better, it seems
They
like.
love it. They
Oh,
love
yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
And the sunsets are amazing. I mean, the sunset's right across the creek. There's basically nothing to obstruct the view. It's all nature in its glory.
Yeah.
And beautiful, like you say, the watermen coming back and forth in their boats, doing their thing.
And
It's really quite
the whole crowd, everybody's pleasant. Everybody's nice here. Like all the boaters and the fishermen, everybody just gets along. It's a beautiful little piece of heaven. It really is.
Yeah. And so, like, if someone wanted to keep their boat down there, there's still slips available and things like that down
We're
there.
remodeling it pretty much every day. So
Okay.
we're almost 2 years now, and half of that time was remodeling and fixing and repairing what was wrong. So there was a lot of infrastructure work. We did a whole bunch of work there. We have great guys, great mechanics, and everybody has well trained in different things like electrical and carpentry and mechanics, everything. It's been we're blessed to have the crew that we have for sure.
Yeah. And like, I think a lot of people that will watch this, if they're not from the area, or if they are from the area, they know Point Lookout Marina and they know the history of the restaurant and stuff like that. And I probably could speak for a lot of them. It's good to see you guys down there doing that, because it is a prime spot right there on Smith Creek. Yeah. It is a great spot for a restaurant, and it seems like you care and you want to make a difference, not just for yourselves and obviously for monetary reasons, but for the community too. You're trying to create a community spot is what it sounds like.
And that's where the name came from. Saul, it came from my daughter, Cecilia Craig. And it's saving a local treasure. So
I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I like it because it is a local treasure. It was tough to see Point Lookout Marina go downhill over the last, however many years it's been.
Yeah.
And talking to the different watermen and different fishermen that were down there, especially when Scheibel's was in its heyday too. It was the hub. Those two areas were the hub of fishing for the Chesapeake Bay. People would flock down to that area. So it's good to see you guys kind of making it. Maybe it's not a hub for fishing as much anymore, but it's a place where a lot of people are coming down to spend the weekend.
Everybody still tries that every day.
Yeah, I believe it or not. Right after this, in at 10:30, 10:45, I got someone coming to my house, and we're gonna hop out and go fish in front of Smith Creek and actually.
There you go.
Fish that are out there. So.
Well, they've been catching our limits within an hour. So
it's been. I went out Thursday and I did really well. So I'm hoping we have some fun. All right. So my question to you now is, what's the best way to kind of keep in touch with you guys? Do you do social media? Do you want to say like a website?
Facebook, Instagram. And we have a whole crew here pitching in, trying to make that happen every single day. So just reach out that way. We have somebody monitoring all emails and contacts every day, all day long.
Okay. Awesome. And to schedule this, I reach out to you guys and you were so communicative. I knew exactly what was happening, when I would be hearing from you. So they're right. They respond quickly. So if you have a big party, you have a question about the marina itself, you have a question about the restaurant, I'm sure allergy stuff too. You guys are accommodating with that and can answer some of those questions. I saw on there, I'm actually gluten-free. So I looked at the menu a few days ago and I noticed you're indicating whether or not stuff is gluten-free, which is an awesome thing to do too. So, so Facebook, Instagram, and website as well. And that's all Saltwater Front Kitchen is what we're looking for, right?
Yes,
that's right.
And Point Lookout Marina. We'll share them, but
gotcha. Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate you coming on here today and sharing Saltwater Front Kitchen with us. And I'm hoping to be down there soon to try out some food.
We'd love to have you.
All right. Good talking to you guys.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Rob.